All right. Hello, everybody. It is Monday, June 13th, and this is our weekly Team Time community call. I'm Lisa Blume. I'm an Optavia coach, and I'm standing in for our fearless leader, Dee Corchin. She could not be with us tonight. So we're here to talk about the one thing and consistency. And we're going to dive into that in a minute. We have a new ED to recognize, but I'm thinking, is he still not here, Debbie?
I don't see him.
Okay. All right. So I think I see the other folks who will be sharing tonight on here. So maybe we can just dive in and get started, and then we can come back and celebrate him later on in the call.
Oh, yep. No, I see him. He's here.
Oh, awesome.
Sorry.
All right. All right. Cool. Well, so then, Debbie, do you want to introduce him?
Sure. So David, this is a fun story. We met a couple years ago when he and his wife were going to go on plan, and then life got hectic and they were like, wait, never mind. And then just earlier this year, he was like, look, I've got all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just go on this plan. And so he did. He came on and he just rocked it. And he was doing so well. And then he was, being public about his success, and people were like, what are you doing? And so he was like, okay, I'm going to coach. And then he rocked that. So like immediately he was senior coach. And then in the second month, he was an ED. So this guy, David Frechette, is just his name is, we go by Frenchie. Frenchie's just doing great. And so I'm super excited to introduce him.
All right. So Frenchie, come off camera. Congratulations. Tell us your story. I don't mean come off camera, come on.
So, yeah, like Debbie said, it was a couple of years ago. We ordered the boxes, my wife and I, and we decided to do it. And then we got it. We're like, well, no, because we just don't believe in it. And we just put it away. We're like, we don't have time for it. And we just kept on living, and daughters get married and all this other stuff's going on. So we just had it in our closet for over a year. And I decided at the first of the year that's it. I'm gonna start losing weight. Daughter's wedding's coming up. Plus there was a big competition, which I won $1,300. Thank you. And I decided to lose all this weight because all the events of my life. Plus, I was getting unhealthy and I wasn't comfortable with myself. So I started the program, and Debbie helped me along the whole way. And I ended up losing 52 pounds in about 12 weeks. And I was totally convinced that it's like a miracle. And I loved it. And I kept doing it. And then all my friends noticed it. And they were like, what are you doing, Frenchie? What are you doing? And I told them. And then Debbie says, why don't you be a coach? And I said, I'd love to coach people, sure. And then she told me a few days later that I actually get paid for it. I didn't know that. So it was exciting. And then I've got, I think I got 24 people now. And most everybody's doing really, really well. They all love their food. And I'm really enjoying doing this because it's absolutely phenomenal weight loss program and a life maintenance program. I feel healthy. Everybody that I've contacted and got into this, they all feel great. They feel healthy. So I'm really excited to help people do all this. So I'm very excited to continue this and keep on and get as many people healthy as I possibly can. And that is me.
Well, that is phenomenal, Frenchie. Thank you for sharing that story. That just shows us all what is possible, right? Really just getting out there, telling our story, and having the heart to help people. Really, really amazing. Thanks for sharing that. And the chat is blowing up. Good for you. All right. So let's talk about what it takes to help all those people. Like I said, we're here tonight to talk about consistency and the one thing. So let me ask you this. How many of you have thought about being consistent and looked at all the things that there are to do around building our business and thought, okay, I can't pick one thing. I want to do all the things. So drop a 1 in the chat if you look at the list of things, social media, and I want to do them all. And then you sort of get stuck and you get paralyzed and think, well, I can't do all of those things. So can I pick one thing? And then maybe your coach has said to you, just pick one thing. And you think, I don't know which one to pick. And you pick one for a while, and then it then you stop doing it. And then you think, well, that doesn't work for me. So drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever done that. If you've started something and then stopped it because you were like, yeah, it doesn't work for me. Yeah, absolutely. Boy, I mean, I'm dropping all the 1s and all the 2s in the chats right along with you. So see if this sounds familiar to you. You become fixated on some desired outcome. You've got a goal. You want a healthier body. You want a better relationships. You want new skills. You want to hit a new rank. So you join the gym, you buy a personal development course, or maybe you take up the cello, right? You want to learn a new skill. So for the first 10 days or so, and see if this sounds familiar to you, you are driven by your motivation to meet your goal. You work on your new passion every single day. But then you sort of start skipping your cello practice, a day here, a day there, a bite, a lick, a taste here, a little glass of wine. And before you know it, the gym membership has lapsed. You've given up on your coursework. The program doesn't work. And your cello's in the closet collecting dust, and the cycle begins all over again. That sound familiar to anybody? Just raise your hand if it does. Yeah, this is how most of us live our lives, including me. Our lack of consistency can be truly frustrating and painful, right? Because we all know that consistency is the key to progress in every area of our lives, but somehow we just continue to falter. So the only thing, maybe I'm guilty of this, the only thing I find myself consistent at is starting something and then stopping before I get any results. But there's hope. I'm here to tell you there's hope. And I've got people lined up to tell you there's hope, because hope comes with first understanding why we fall into these cycles and then taking the steps to overcome them. So who knows the answer to why we struggle to be consistent? Go ahead and put in the chat. Why do we struggle to be consistent? What is the main reason that we struggle with it? Yeah, life happens. It is hard. Yeah, impatience. I get that, right? We want it now. Or fear. Yeah, not dealing with what is truly. No intrinsic motivation. Michelle, you've hit the nail on the head. Unrealistic goals, negative self-talk, all of those things. But the real number one reason why you struggle to be consistent is you're focused on the outcome rather than the process. You're focused on the outcome. That's not to say the outcome isn't important, but if we get fixated on the outcome, it will work against us, actually, no matter how compelling, right? Because any compelling outcome, any goal that's enough to excite you is probably one that won't be achieved without hard work and sacrifice over a long period of time. So that impatience comes in, Debbie, like you said, and it always takes longer than you think. And without those processes in place to help us, most of us aren't able to maintain the effort we need to accomplish the outcomes. So if you want to achieve your goal, you have to build consistency into your plan. And before you do that, you have to define the plan, which, for me consists of 4 parts, right? What is the desired outcome? What do we want? The second one, what is the big why behind that goal? What will it mean to us, right? This is the awakening piece. This is what we do when we do a health assessment or a coach explore. What is the why? And then setting goals that will gradually get you to your desired outcome. We all know you can't lose 50 pounds by tomorrow, but you can focus on losing 5 pounds in the next 2 weeks. We can focus on losing 10 pounds in a month or 5 weeks. But if we stay focused on the 50 pounds, or we stay focused on IPD or whatever our goal is, that's going to consume us. And we need those small steps. So the fourth one is developing the processes to accomplish these goals. And this is where we're going to focus tonight, primarily on that 4th step, because that's most relevant to the idea of developing consistency. And by the way, it's also in this 4th step where most good intentions fall apart. So how can we become more consistent? Well, let's talk about that. So I'm going to bring in some folks who have, worked on their consistency and have seen some results from it. And my hope for you, so the goal tonight is that you walk away from this, and at the end of the call, you text your coach with the one thing you're going to do and you're going to focus on. Just pick one. because here's what we know happens. There's a ripple effect from picking one thing. So just pick one. And regardless of the fear or the self-doubt or thinking you have to pick something else or you're picking wrong, just pick one thing and commit to it for the next 7 days and see what happens. So Beth Bilton, would love to hear from you. If you'll come off mute and talk to us about your success with consistency and what that's looked like for you.
First of all, thank you, Lisa, for letting me share. So I've been a coach, it'll be 6 years next month. So first of all, I have to say, don't give up. That's the first step to consistency, I would think. And just showing up every day in your business. You have to touch it, no matter how small. It can be as small as 5 minutes, it can be an hour. Just make sure you touch your business every single day. I think that's the most important step there. So
Beth, tell us what that looks like for you.
Okay, so for me, I've been doing the power hours. I don't know if you've heard of those or not. If you haven't, reach out to your coach. So I have been doing those probably about 6 weeks. It's every single day. I don't get on every day. I get on every single time that I can. And I have learned so much from the leaders that run that. There's different things that they do every day consistently. And I have been following those steps. And actually today they talked about reaching out for birthdays and things like that. So I had a friend on Facebook who had a birthday. I reached out and she texted me back. She's like, she's a former client. She was never engaged at all. She reached out and she's like, I think I'm going to start back on Optavia again. I'm like, wow. And this was last summer that she was a client. So it's been a year, over a year that she was a client. So just like I said, touching your business every day, doing the small things that you can do. And one thing that I do like to do is called time blocking, where I actually schedule the time in my calendar and I make time and I write out, what I'm going to do during that, say 30 minutes of time. And I do that. I shut off my notifications and because you can get so distracted with different things. So I just really remain focused and work on that for say 30 minutes at a time, doing time blocking.
So Beth, if you will, tell us how many times a day do you block time, or how many hours a week do you spend on your business? Like, are you doing this all the time?
No, that's one thing that I love about coaching. You do need to do the work, but it's flexible as to when you do the work. So that's when you can fit it into your schedule. So some days are different. Like my daughter was home. She was home this weekend. She didn't leave till like 2:30 today. So I spent the morning with her. So I didn't really touch my business until after that. And I got on and did the birthdays and things like that, I do certain things every single day. And so that's what helps. So you can do, if you have a 20-minute block in the morning, block that out. If you have time at lunch, if you're on a lunch break, in the evening, just be consistent with blocking out your time and be consistent with what you want to do during that time. And have a goal set for that specific time frame.
Okay, that's really helpful, Beth. And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here too. So in the time you've been doing these power hours,
yes,
what by how much would you say your business has grown? Percentage wise, maybe 10%, 20%? Is that, were you?
I don't know a percentage, but last month I had my highest frontline volume that I've ever had in 6 years. So that says something, I think.
Okay, so that's significant.
Yes.
Yeah. So showing up for your business every day, whatever that means to you, showing up for your business every day, and consistency pays off. So Beth, what wants to get in your way when you are sitting down to do that power hour?
The power hour I do. So that is one thing that I sit down every day. You get on the computer and you do the things that they suggest and all that. So that's been very helpful. But for me, it overwhelmed. Sometimes I feel like you said, I have to do this and this and this, and I have to do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that. And then I don't do anything. I just completely shut down and it's like, I can't do it. My brain just explodes and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and watch TV. True confession. So that's when I have to stop and tell myself, and I will take a break, maybe a 10-minute break or something to kind of refocus myself. And then I stop and tell myself, okay, what is one thing that you can do right now that will move, that will move your business forward, or just reach out to touch one person? What can you do? One thing to touch one person right now. And that momentum kind of helps breaks that overwhelmness and kind of gets me off, going in the right direction again.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks so much for sharing, Beth. I think we can all relate to what you're saying, right? About wanting to do it and stuff getting in the way. And boy, the highest frontline volume ever. That's something, right? And whatever your frontline volume is versus what you want it to be, this could be the key to getting it there. Because what does frontline volume mean? It means we're helping more people. It means, right? Yeah, it means we're out there like Frenchie, just helping more people and loving life and getting excited about people being in fat burn and feeling good and achieving their goals. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Linda Young, you've got a few things to share with us too. Where are you, Linda? I know you're out there. Come on off mute.
Okay. Hi, Lisa. Hi,
Hey.
everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm kind of with Beth. I try to get really focused in the morning. Sometimes the night before, I'll really make a list of the things I actually want to accomplish in the day. I'm definitely a list maker. I got to write it down. I got to check things off. But I was really more focused on the kind of things that I do to be consistent in my business, the things that kind of make me feel like I'm always moving forward, even if you don't have instant gratification from them. I do have a handful of things that I make sure I'm doing all the time. And one of them is I'm really focused on follow-ups with clients. Clients that have been, sometimes you have those clients that have done a great job and they've transitioned and then they've gone into maintenance and then you're not talking to them all that often. I'll reach out to them on a regular basis just to check in and see how things are going and just to let them know I'm still thinking about them. Also, we've also got those clients that maybe left the program a little bit too soon and they maybe stop talking to you, they get to their goal weight, and then you're really convinced they're not doing a great transition. And those folks really need you to pay attention to them too, just to make sure that, what do they need from you? And I'm still thinking about you. And are you still moving forward? Are you still at your goal? And then of course, the not yets. The not yets are a little bit scarier because there's sort of that fine line between, are you badgering them too much or are you just making sure that you're letting them know that you're thinking about them? And every once in a while, you'll have somebody that says, they'll actually answer the phone and they'll say, oh yeah, I did Weight Watchers and I lost 40 pounds. I'm feeling great. And one of the things Dee taught me is that you say, congratulations, that's awesome, because we want everybody to be successful. And I kind of feel like keeping those relationships going, even if they're not your client right now, if they've had a good experience with you, they're going to refer you. And, even if they don't need what we have to offer at this moment, they may need it at some point in time and come back, or they'll refer friends that do need the support and the structure that we offer. So those follow-ups are really one of my big things that are on my list of things to do every day. I'm also really very consistent with my social media posts. I always like to start every day with a motivational post. And sometimes it's how I'm feeling, and sometimes it's how I wish I were feeling. And I'll, kind of put that out there. And the other thing I do every day on social media is I always post a healthy recipe. And I started this really, really early in my coaching career. I'm like Beth, I've been coaching for 6 years now. And I found that you often have opportunities to talk to people about recipes. If you make a new friend at a party, or you bump into standing next to somebody in the grocery store and you strike up a conversation, it's really easy to say, hey, do you like to cook? Because I post a healthy recipe every day. If you want to connect on Facebook, we could do that. And it's a conversation starter. And it's just, just an opportunity for them to get another peek at what we really do without saying, hey, I'm a health coach, come and look what I do. So those are my two big things. My other thing is that I'm pretty consistent with my fitness and my nutrition goals. I'm not 100%, but I try to be really, really consistent with that because I don't know. I just feel like I'm more authentic that way and a little bit more honest and a little bit more believable to just do my very best with that.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Linda. I agree. When we're feeling good, we show up better, right? If we're whatever that is, whether we've had enough water, we're sticking with our nutrition plan, whatever it is, feeling good. Not only do we show up authentic, but we just show up better because we feel better. So thanks for sharing that. I'm curious, what do you feel has been the impact to your business of the consistency, the things that you do most consistently?
I think the follow-ups. I think that's it because most of my business really has come from referrals. And I think if I continue to build those relationships with people, even when they're not in the weight loss phase, I think it's been a way for me to continue to make new relationships and bring on some other folks onto the plan, helping more people.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a question in the chat for you, Linda, and it's how soon or often do you follow up with not yets?
It kind of depends. Maybe every couple of months. I kind of keep a stack of my health assessments in a certain place and I'll flip through them and I'll take a note on when the last time I spoke was. But sometimes you'll leave a conversation with somebody where they say, I'm not really ready to do this right now because I'm going on vacation, but maybe we can talk again in September. So if they give me kind of a little bit of guidance, I'll write that down and I'll put a note on my calendar to call them at that time. But if they're very vague and they don't, indicate a specific time, I'll usually, probably in a couple of months, I'll reach out to them. And it won't always be a phone call. It might be a text or it might be an email. And I also make sure that they're getting my newsletter because then that's every week they get to be reminded of what we do.
Yeah, awesome. One last question for you, Linda. When you reach those people, whether it's a current client or a new client or a not yet, and you have that exchange with them, whether it's a 5-minute conversation or a 20-minute conversation, how do you feel at the end of that when you hang up?
Well, it really depends on how the conversation went, to be really honest, because one of the struggles that we all have is trying to not be too disappointed and not be too discouraged. And I have to admit that early on, when I was doing this, a lot of times there was the fear of like, am I really ready for rejection again? Can I really do this again? But I'm kind of over that now. And I think a lot of that is all the training that we've got from this group and everything we've learned. It's like, that's okay. If you're not ready, I keep thinking if somebody's not ready for the program, they're not going to do well on the program. And that's not good for anyone. So I usually feel pretty good that I've, accomplished my mission and I'll make a decision, will I keep reaching out or maybe I'll wait for them to find me later.
Yeah. Thanks for being so vulnerable with that question, Linda, because we didn't plan this. So I asked it off the cuff. But it's true, I think pushing through the fear and leaning into the support that we have, because we do have a lot of training. You have a coach. Optavia puts the guardrails around our clients with the program, and we put the guardrails around our coaches. So we have a lot of training that can help you improve those skills or give you nuggets to help you keep moving forward, right? So we're never at a loss for more tools to hone our skills. And we just have, sometimes, like you said, we have to push through that fear and make that call. So thanks, Linda, for sharing. So one other person that was that we wanted to share tonight was not able to be with us, Carolyn Twitchell. And I just wanted to, she sent me her list of things that she talks about. So I'm going to share that with you. And then we're going to go to Meredith Burford, who's going to share with us about kind of the mindset around being consistent. So Carolyn said, she likes to speak about the simplicity of the plan, and the fact that science has done the guesswork for it, and that the important work is our mindset. So she is consistent with positivity and hope. She asks her clients every week what was their challenge or challenges, and support them with positivity and listen to them so they can talk through their issues. She said sometimes people just need to vent and be heard. So she shows up as that kind of positive life force to let her clients vent and process. She said, I'm consistent with communication. My clients know I will call, text, voice text on their weekly day we agree to. So she has a day that they agree to. And even if they don't answer, they know I'm rooting for them and thinking of them. And sometimes that's all people need to keep going. And the third thing she says, again, with regard to communication, she's consistent by using automated tools. She uses TextWhiz every Monday to remind clients about our Monday and Tuesday calls, sends out her newsletter every week, and then she sets up a 1 week celebration call with her coach. So think about that. Those celebration calls are key. And if you are not doing a celebration call with your coach, I encourage you to do so. No matter where your clients are on program, it is never too late. If you didn't do it the first week, set one up today. Bring the client to the celebration call. And I always tell my coaches and their clients, come back to me when you're halfway to your goal. Come back to me when you're at your goal. So keep those celebration calls going. Your coaches are out here wanting to support you with this, and it's helpful for your clients to hear another voice. And yeah, so setting up the celebration calls with her coaches Calendly. So using automated tools, staying consistent in communication, and showing up with positivity and hope. So we'll say thank you to Carolyn when she listens to the recording. So, all right, Meredith, I know you also have some great stuff to share. So go ahead.
All right. So when Lisa first asked me about this topic, the first thing that came to mind was, gosh, the one thing that I've been most consistent with has been not quitting and not giving up. And I think it's a mindset that evolved. It took some time to get there, but I will tell you guys, like there are always going to be ups and downs in our businesses. Being an entrepreneur, it's a little bit like a roller coaster, right? But I just made the decision, and I've been coaching for about 2.5 years. So I made the decision really early on that I just wasn't going to give up. There's this book, if you haven't read it, called The Greatest Salesman in the World. It is not what you would expect if you haven't read it. It's such a gem. It's really good. But one of the chapters, they talk about how they have the phrase, I will persist until I succeed. And on those days where I am like, I didn't hit my goal, or, somebody cancels their premiere, or things I'm not where I thought I should be. I just have that phrase echoing of, I will persist until I succeed. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about when you first started coaching, or when you first made the decision to coach. So if you are on this call, I am betting that there was something in you, even if it was just like this smallest whisper, there was something in you that said, you need to do this. You can make a difference. You can help people find breakthrough. You can change people's lives through this. There was something in you that made you decide, okay, I'm going to go for this. And I want you to think about that and harness that whenever you have disappointments, because they will come. Whenever you have discouragement, because that will happen, just think about that feeling and that pull of why you started this to begin with, and let that fuel you, because that reason within you, that's not going to change. Our circumstances change, but that reason why you started is not going to change. So just remember that. And that's what I cling to whenever I'm like, oh, what can I do today? I will remember, okay, this is why I'm doing this. I will persist until I succeed.
Well, that's a mic drop right there. Thank you, Meredith. And it's true, right? It starts with the decision and persisting and until we succeed. And again, it's back to whatever success means to us, and then focusing on that process and not the outcome. We cannot say it enough. It's small steps, millimeter steps, incremental steps every day. It's like I tell my clients, it's not about how much time you spend in your life book. It's that you spend time in your life book every day. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Set a timer. In fact, I'm gonna channel Meg Johnson here and double dog dare you all to set a timer for 15 minutes and do nothing but work on your business for 15 minutes. And then at the end of 15 minutes, see what you did, see how it feels, because I'm betting you will be surprised how much you get done in 15 minutes. And then set a timer and spend 5 minutes in your life book. Sorry, I'm like the life book promoter of all time here, because that's where your mindset shift is going to come from. And when you're in action in your business, you also feel good. It's like fat burn. You feel good when you're doing. So one of my clients said to me, what I really like about this program, what I really feel good about is that I feel good when I'm doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And that's really where we're all at. We know there's things out there we want to do. So just do it. So text your coach what that one thing is that you're going to do, and set a timer and amaze yourself at how much you can get done. Thanks everybody for being on the call tonight. And thanks to our wonderful presenters. I appreciate you all for your contributions. This was really fabulous. And we'll see you all on the next call. All right. Good night.